Hi everybody, it's Julie from Artfully You, and today we're going to be painting a colourful Niagara Falls.
Okay, so yeah, if you haven't done so already, please wet your canvas. I'm just going to give it a very light dampening because I don't want to soak it. So we're going to use a combination of cobalt blue and white. On the value scale, you're going to be about mid-value. So if you take a cobalt blue, I'm going to show you my mixing tray. So I've got my cobalt blue. I'm just going to put a little bit down, about the same amount of white. So about 50-50 cobalt blue and a white. So we've got kind of a sky blue. And this is where, if you have painter's tape and you want to use it, you could put a little bit of painter's tape across to give you a guideline. I'm just going to tilt my canvas. And proportionately, we're going to about a quarter of the way down. So this would be my halfway point. So it's about a quarter of the way down. I'm just tilting my canvas on its side because it's easier to do a straight line from top to bottom than side to side. And I'm just gonna run that light blue as straight as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. To create a horizon line. So maybe give me a thumbs up when we've done that. And I am going to grab a little bit of my dinner while we talk because I had to pick my car up from the garage and there was a big accident on Highway 6 and I haven't had time to eat yet. So pardon me if I grab.
Spot for accidents.
So it's terrible for accidents, Highway 6. Okay, so that kind of sky blue, we're going to take it down and graduate it down to pure cobalt blue. So I'm just using up what's on my brush.
So wait, we're painting blue from
the horizon down.
Is that like a darker blue or lighter blue?
Nope, this is the same blue we just mixed for the horizon line.
So lighter blue or dark?
So it's cobalt blue with some white.
Okay.
And I'm going to take that kind of medium sky blue down to the halfway point. Hillary, I can't see you, but are you still with us?
Yeah, I am.
Good. No worries.
I just had a really bad day at work and
that's okay.
Feel like kind of just chilling over here.
That's okay. It sounds like you just need to have some playful and mindfulness tonight.
Yep, that's exactly what I need.
Excellent. So I've kind of used up the paint that was on my brush to this halfway point. So what I'm going to start doing is just picking up some pure cobalt blue and then working my way down all the way to the bottom. And this is all underpainting, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just putting pure cobalt blue on now, and I'm going to kind of blend this together to get a little bit of an ombre type thing. I hope you have a nice glass of creative juice, Hillary.
Yep, I do.
Good. I'm going to join you in a minute.
Perfect. I might have a sleepy time tea before bed too.
Oh, good. That's a good idea. Have you got any melatonin in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's always a... I found melatonin gummies even better.
Gummies?
Yeah, they taste like, I mean, they taste very good. So you have to remember you can only have 2. But
They're
yeah,
like gummy bears?
They're like little, yeah, like little gummies from Costco.
Mm.
Delicious. And do the trick.
Is that a darker blue you added?
No,
there?
This is just Cobalt Blue.
What
So this is the, you may have just missed it.
What did you start with though?
So we started with Cobalt Blue and white to halfway, and now we've led on with just pure Cobalt Blue.
Okay.
And this is our base layer. It's just our underpainting. And don't worry if it's a bit thin and streaky, because we're going to put more paint on top anyway. So it's just giving us a little bit of an underpainting. I was very lucky to actually go to Niagara Falls again. I never get bored of seeing the falls. They're so amazing. I went just a couple of weeks ago and it's just amazing. It just takes my breath away. I really want to kind of focus on that feeling of, you know, the rush of the water as it goes right over the edge, and you know, that thunder that you can hear, and kind of focus on the senses we have when we see Niagara Falls. That kind of power that's behind. So we don't want a nice smooth river. We want to try and get that feeling of the thunderous energy coming over the falls when we paint them. And no rush at all. Take your time. But just a heads up, when we've done that, we are going to clean our brush. So either clean your brush or change your brush, because we're going to go to pure white after this. And it's quite important we don't have any blue left on our brush. And for those people who haven't, I'm sure everybody has met Leanne. Like, we've painted live together many, many times. But welcome to our virtual group. How are we doing, Alice?
Julie, what size brush are you using tonight?
Oh, so I am using my trusty 3/4 inch flat for now. My favorite brush.
1/4 inch.
Julie, I'm getting frustrated with the stupid dog because he just keeps whining at me.
Oh no.
Because I haven't taken him out for his constitutional yet today.
Oh.
Because I had an appointment after work.
Uh-oh. Do you need to let him out? Oh, he wants to go for a walk.
Yes. So he just keeps whining at me.
I could always take him for a walk tomorrow. I've actually got a meeting at IKEA, Mary. They've booked me for the 30th anniversary customer appreciation event. So I'm going to be doing probably 2 paint nights back to back in the same night.
Oh, are you doing virtual?
No, in person.
In person? Wow.
In the cafe, yeah.
Ah.
But I don't quite know how they're going to choose which customers are going to be doing it, because we're only allowed a certain amount. So I don't know if it's going to be like a lottery or special customers.
They'll probably start with the family members.
Right.
But how they're going to do that, I don't know, because there's a lot of family members.
Yeah. I don't quite know, but I'm having a meeting with, I can't remember his name right now.
Brian?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Maybe the people who are most gracious when they're putting together the furniture.
I love putting together IKEA furniture. It's really fun.
I'm calling
it's like Lego for me.
I'll call you next time.
I don't. I always call my daughter.
I think it's the challenge, and I feel the accomplishment when I get it done right.
Yeah.
Without any extra pieces left over.
There's a comedian called Michael McIntyre, and he said that when you put together IKEA furniture, the Allen key is like a trophy at the end to show that you've put it together. And he has like a little key ring of Allen keys of all the IKEA furniture he's been able to successfully put together. I love Michael McIntyre.
Julie, I'm gonna take Dexter out after painting. Just go out with my flashlight and just take him down the road for a bit, just to get it out of his system.
That's a good idea.
Because he was at Nicole's in Toronto and she's in an apartment. Every time he needed to go out, he got to go for a walk. So he went out for like 5 walks a day.
Hey.
Can't do that here because I'm not home.
No. Okay, folks, so we are going to start with just plain old white. And we are going to paint the very top kind of 1 inch of our canvas with just plain white paint. So if you're on a larger canvas, if you imagine this top portion is divided in half, so half of the top portion is going to be, for now, plain white. And I am doing a little bit of an art supply sale on Saturday. For anybody who's in the area, I am having a major purge, and I'm going to be selling just some kind of art goodie bags of things I have too many of or don't need anymore. So that's going to be this Saturday on 11th concession. So if anybody needs stuff, there'll be lots of other bric-a-brac there, but I will be putting some art supplies, surplus art supplies out there too.
What time, Julie?
I'm going to do it in the morning, kind of 8 till 1, I think. So.
And if you've advertised it, you'll have people there at 6 in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some signs out in the next few days, and I've advertised on a few of the Facebook groups, but yeah, having a bit of a purge of the art room.
And so, Julie, more than 11th concession, is there like an address you can put in your GPS?
Yeah, if you put in Freelton,
yeah,
and then our street is directly on the other side of the highway to Freelton.
Do you know where Carlisle Road is? You go the second road up from Carlisle Road.
The second, more north. 2 north of
Yeah, second north from Carlisle Road.
off of 6.
Okay, so we've got our white stripe. I know you can't really see it with the light, but we've got our white stripe halfway across our sky. And then right through the middle, I'm going to put some pure yellow. So hopefully it will pick up, the top part of it will pick up my white. So I'm being very careful to just do a stripe right across the middle. And then after I've done my first stripe, I'm then going half over the white and half over the yellow. So half and half. And I'm just gonna very softly blend it. So the key thing is there's not a lot of pressure, and I'm just blending it. We want to leave the top, the very top part white, pure white. So I'm just blending my yellow into my white.
Oh.
The next color is red. I'm just going to get out my red. Cadmium red. And for anybody who has these metal tubes of paint, a pair of nutcrackers is your best friend for getting the lids off. I recommend a pair of nutcrackers.
I have a pair on my in my bucket of art supplies.
Yeah, a pair of nutcrackers, or funnily enough, Alice, this is from Holland. And this was my mom's. I've had this since I was 8 years old when I went to Holland. And I don't even know if they sell them anywhere else, but it's a jar opener, but it's very good for getting lots of different types of, like the larger lids off. Because you can, I don't know whether I've ever seen them over here, but.
No, I haven't.
If you ever come across this, it's amazing.
I will have to take a look at the Dutch store.
Have a look at the Dutch store, and it's so good for getting paint lids off. Okay, so red. We're going to mix red with that yellow to make our warm yellow. If you already have a warm yellow, that's great. I have a little bit of warm yellow here. But I'm going to take my cadmium yellow for those who don't have a warm yellow and just add a very tiny amount of red into it just to warm it up. So you don't really want it to be orange. You want it to be like a yellow orange. We're just gonna mix a little bit of that in along the bottom of our yellow, just to get that kind of sunset feel. So either your warm yellow or tiny bit of red into your cadmium yellow, very subtle. And then for the very bottom, the very kind of where the horizon is meeting the water, we're going to add a little bit more red in to make it more orangey. So this will be more of a kind of orange. And we're going to go right along our horizon line.
Really, I missed what we just did. What did you just do?
We added a tiny bit of red to yellow to get a warm yellow. And now we're adding more red to make it kind of orangey, which works great. I think the reason why this works so well as a painting is because blue and orange are opposite on the color wheel. So they're complementary colors. So I think that's why it works so well. So I'm just going to blend that in. Yeah, if ever I'm going too quick, just let me know. I think you're all pretty good now at letting me know if I'm rushing ahead. Sometimes I get very excited about what we're doing next, and that's the only thing about virtual. I can't look over your shoulders and see where everybody's up to. And when you've done that, if you have a hairdryer handy, I recommend giving it a quick blast with the hairdryer, which I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to mute myself so you don't have to listen to my hairdryer.
Julie, you're still muted.
Sorry, I was having a quick bite of my dinner. I'm so sorry.
I thought it was awful quiet.
I was watching the camera and waiting for people to stop hair drying, and I was having a sneaky mouthful of my chili. So okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is establish the shape of our falls with a little bit of white paint. So pick a smallish flat brush. You can either use this one's a 1/2 inch flat or a 1/4 inch flat would be fine. So whatever works for you. And we're going to get a little bit of white paint. So what I like to do is smooth, kind of dampen the bristles, smooth them off. Put a small amount of white paint on. And I'm going to give you some guidelines for this. So I'm on a 8x10 canvas. So if I was to divide my canvas into kind of 1, 2, 3, roughly 1/3 across is the edge of my falls. And then for me, it's 1 finger away from the bottom left-hand corner is the start of my falls. So if you think about halfway across, sorry, halfway horizontally across, and then 1/3 there. I'm losing my ability to do language tonight. So I'm going to start with 1 finger here, and I'm going to about halfway across vertically and 1/3 of the way indent. So about, if I was to put a little pinpoint there, and it doesn't have to be a straight line. So I'm just going to kind of bring a bit of a line across. So about there. So that's the edge of my falls. So I'm going to give myself a little guideline here. I'll put a few lines here.
So did we just make a white line there?
Yeah, so just a white line from 1 finger space indented in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
And then take it across to halfway across your canvas, but 1/3 indented.
And then you made random lines there?
Yeah, just a few kind of, these are going to be my kind of waves. So this gives it a little bit of movement. Let's put some kind of curves where it's kind of going over the edge. You can always put a few kind of thick ones, because obviously the closer it is to us, the thicker and further apart they would be. Maybe just give me a little thumbs up or show me what you've done when you get there. Thank you, Janine. Awesome. Oh, that looks great, Hillary. Well done.
Focusing, sorry.
Oh, that looks great. Well done. Janice, that looks great.
We're like totally milking it.
Alice, that looks great. Okay. And then we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a guide as to where the rest of the falls come in. So just to make life very easy, I'm going to start about 0.5 centimeter below my horizon line. And I'm not going to press very hard because this is a guideline. And I'm just going to sweep round. I'm just going to give myself a little curve so I know where the rest of everything's going to go.
It's so high.
So it's just a guideline. So I'm doing it not too thick and the thin paint. Just a bit of a guideline there. We're going to work on this in a minute. I just wanted to get this shape first of all. Okay, let's establish the rest of our falls. Is everybody ready for this bit? Okay. So everything's going to kind of come off this edge, and as it gets further along, it's going to get straighter and straighter. So let's start about here. Let's take a little, it's kind of like some of the other waterfalls that we've done. Let's take a little line. Okay, across. And then we're going to sweep down. So there's our first little, again, we're just creating guidelines. These can all be painted over. We don't like them. So let's do one kind of next to it, but we're going to get a little bit straighter because we're getting closer to this edge. So this one, let's take it across from kind of the edge of our canvas. And we're going to sweep down. I'm still using my 1/2 inch flat.
Wow.
So again, I'm gonna go a little bit across. I'm gonna sweep down. I'm gonna keep going across, but my lines are gonna get straighter and straighter. So eventually, instead of curving, they're gonna be fairly, maybe a little curve at the top, but they're gonna be fairly straight. So by the time I get to about here, I'm pretty much coming straight down. And when I get to the edge, maybe slightly curving the other way, only slightly. And I'm deliberately not doing super thick fresh paint. I'm kind of using it what's on my brush, so it's a bit wispy. And I'm letting a little bit of that blue show through.
everything's stressing me out.
This is stressing you out. Oh no. It's not supposed to stress you out. It's supposed to be calming, playful mindfulness.
I know. Mindfulness has gone crazy. Okay, come here. I feel like my falls are in a jail.
Oh, Hillary, that's awesome. Wow. I feel like I know exactly where I'm standing at the edge of the falls when you first go through the you know where the shops are by Niagara Falls and you first step out. I feel like I'm right there. Very nice. Okay, I feel like I'm a little bit low here. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. I got a little bit low. I need to go a little bit higher here. That's better. You know, we can put more white on this later. And now we're going to do the fun bit, the kind of foamy, that mist coming up. And extra points for anybody who puts a little Maid of the Mist, like kind of right here, a little tiny Maid of the Mist. I'd love it if somebody puts like a little tiny Maid of the Mist there. Just give me a thumbs up when you're all done with that bit.
I know. I was like a jungle. It's got to give me some love.
So we're going to start with white, but we're going to introduce a little bit of our cobalt blue again. So you can either use your 3/4 inch flat, or you can switch to a fill bit. I might switch to a fill bit for now. So a fill bit, just as a reminder, is our brush that has, it's flat but with a roundy end. And let me know if I'm racing ahead. I want to make sure everybody's with me. So we're going to kind of do the same technique as we do with clouds. So a little bit of paint on the end of a dry brush. And we are going to, technical term, splodge.
Which brush? Anyone.
And we are going to splodge to create that mist. So dry brush, very little paint. So just a little bit on the end. This is where if you have an old tatty brush, the older your brush, the better.
Older, better. This is too thick.
And if this happens, you got too much paint.
Yeah.
You want to dry it off on the paper towel, and we're kind of creating this mist. So we want a dry effect, not wet paint. And we're going to go across, but I'm just kind of deliberately leaving this little bit down here blue for now. So I'm just kind of hiding where the end of my curved lines are. So I'm creating that kind of spray, that kind of foam that comes back up on a waterfall. And we've done a fair few waterfalls together now.
Therapy,
So
one. I need some more one. This is therapy right now.
okay, so here we go. This is the so we're going to leave a little space for now. I'm going to do this over the edge of my painting while I have the paint handy. Because it's nice to finish off the edges so you don't have to worry about framing it. Framing costs money and it's easier just to allow the painting to go over the edges. I think paintings look nicer on a wall without a frame most of the time.
I framed last week's.
You
and
did?
it does. It looks really, really good.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Have you got it handy?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Now I am writing the programs for the fall. So if anybody has any burning desires to do any particular type of landscape, I would love to know your ideas. Oh, that looks amazing, Mary.
Have I got
that's gorgeous. Wow. I love the
Beautiful.
sailboats. That's so nice. I'm so proud of you. That's lovely. Wow.
I thought it turned out really well.
Oh, Jared, what's your idea?
Let's do this is more closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's do a nutcracker.
Oh, do you know what? That would be fine by me, but my husband has a phobia of nutcrackers. You know, some people have clown things.
Yeah.
He's terrified of nutcrackers. And my son and I take full advantage of it because whenever we're in a store and there's nutcrackers, we kind of get them and put them right up to his face. But he's really scared of them. It's something, you know, like people are scared of clowns. Like it's a real thing, isn't it? People are scared. Yeah. He's really scared of nutcrackers.
Hey, there you go. That's perfect. Let's do it then.
Yeah, just to talk to my husband. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Okay, so do you remember I said if you have cerulean blue, you can use it. If not, just go back to your cobalt blue. What you could do to create a little bit of cerulean is you could take your cobalt blue. Okay, so do you remember that sky blue that we started with for the water? Yeah. You could take that cobalt blue, and to make it cerulean, you could just add a tiny bit of that orange that we were using, very small amount of orange, to make it more of the kind of cerulean. Or you could just take cerulean. So we're just taking the sunset color and adding a very, very tiny amount of blue to it. I mean, a very tiny amount of the sunset to the blue. That's what I'm trying to say. And we're just going to do the same technique. We're just going to kind of dab on this lower part just to give the bottom of the waterfall a little bit of a shadow. So it works quite well either way, but I'm just dabbing it. So this is the color we used for the water here, but I'm just adding a little bit of my sunset orange in. And I am just putting this along the bottom very subtly.
Just here.
It's so nice to be painting with you again. This is really fun. Thank you for joining me tonight and giving yourself some time to be playful. See how nice that looks with that little tiny bit of orange put into the blue? Uh-oh, happy accident. I dabbed too much.
Looks gray though.
I know.
It's not supposed to look gray.
No. Maybe if it looks gray, maybe a little bit too much orange.
Okay.
While we've got our white out, I'm going to do a bit of finger painting. You know, I like to put in a bit of finger painting. With a pinky finger, we're going to dip it into our white paint. And we're going to put your sun wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put mine. Where should I put it? Back here. There we go. So finger painting. I always like to do my little bit of finger painting.
No.
Our next color is pure black. So pure black. And I'm gonna go down to a fairly small flat brush. This is a 1/4 inch flat. So whatever you have that you can get a little bit of control from. And pure black paint. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the end of my brush. Is everybody at the same stage? I just want to check. Yeah, okay. So I'm just putting, can you see how little I have on the end of my brush? Just a little bit. And I'm gonna make this kind of little tree line. So I'm just gonna do a bit of a wibbly wobbly line. Just creating a little bit of a wobbly tree line. Doesn't have to be kind of exactly how it is in Niagara Falls. Let's just kind of make it up. I know there's a park over there on the American side because I've been there a few times. So let's just, and it kind of goes up a little bit higher on the right-hand side. Okay, I might take this off a little bit over here. Okay. And then we're just going to fill that in so it's flat on the horizon. So
Down.
and I find whenever we put black silhouette, it really helps define the sunset. It kind of gives it that contrast and suddenly makes everything pop when you put some black into a sunset painting.
Just do random, right?
Yeah.
Just gonna continue that over the edges.
That's a little you. Niagara's watching TV over there.
Downstairs?
And me and my apartment. He set up the TV so I can get him cozy. As well. I was watching you the other day.
Again, give me a little thumbs up or a little indicator whenever you've done that. No rush at all.
I mean, we're done. Fast.
Well done, Janice. Well done, Jared.
My eyes are burning.
Oh, I'm doing my glasses.
Obviously, if you're on a larger canvas, it's going to take longer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Made it harder for us. Sorry.
So we're going to stay with black. And the next stage may seem a little bit scary, but we're gonna put some pure black into our water.
Uh-oh.
So we're gonna establish the shadows. And most of them are going to be in the foreground. So we have our black. And they're going to be mainly in the bottom right-hand corner of our canvas. So let's start kind of quite low down in the bottom right-hand corner. So let's start about here. And let's put kind of a little ripple in. Kind of like a little eyebrow shape. So just imagine you're painting an eyebrow.
Where? Oh gosh. Scared. I'm scared.
And we're going to put a few of those shapes in. And as they get further away from the bottom of our canvas, they're going to get thinner and closer together. So let's put a few more in. I'm going to go directly under this white line here. We don't want them exactly the same size and shape as a white line. So I'm going to do
Hey, Julie.
a smaller one here.
So I've run into a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
So with my canvas.
Oh, hello. We have a little whale going on. That looks cool.
No, that's a laser.
I can't hear you, Jared. Sorry.
That's a wave.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just joking. It kind of looked like a whale. But it was kind of a happy accident. You got a cool whale happening at Niagara Falls. So you need to make your foreground a little bit darker. Do you have a darker blue?
My problem is my blue is too big, like too big of a space. You know, yours touches the end of the
I
canvas. Mine
can't
doesn't.
hear you.
Yours touches the end of the canvas. Mine doesn't.
Here, do we need more waves?
Well, that's okay. Just extend it. So I'm going to start putting some more of these kind of black lines. So I'm going to put, so if you imagine kind of an eyebrow, so I'm going to draw a line, press down, and then kind of lift off. So I might put some right in the foreground. So I'll kind of draw a line, press down, and then lift off. There's one right in the foreground here. So I'll do a few big ones, and then as they get further away, they're going to be thinner. So I might do one here that's a little bit thinner and longer. I might do one here. So as they get further away, they're going to get a lot thinner and less frequent. So let's put, how's that starting to look? We got things that look like waves. Oh, very nice, Hillary. Well done. Looks great. So it's a little bit like when we paint on a red canvas and we just establish our highlights and shadows and then we put the colors in afterwards. It's kind of like the one on the wall behind Hillary, same kind of painting theory, but we're using a blue background. Yeah, kind of when we did our lights and darks with that one. And we're gonna start working our way up the value scale. So the next color after our black is we're gonna make like a navy blue. So we want kind of black and the cobalt blue. So it's kind of like a dark blue, but not too dark. Just kind of in between black and your cobalt. Like if you were to pick a color kind of in the middle. So on a value scale about 7.
Okay. Oh.
we want to create like lots of colorful lines. So I'm gonna put some in the foreground of this kind of navy blue. So I'm gonna put some.
So what color are we doing now?
So it's like a navy blue. So we're gonna put some of our blue with a little bit of black.
Okay.
And we're gonna put a few lines in the foreground of these kind of wavy shapes. These eyebrows. Maybe I like to kind of describe them as eyebrows. So don't forget they're larger in the foreground, and then they get smaller and thinner as they get further away. So you could even take a few of them,
Just blending under the black.
kind of run them over the edge a little bit. So I'm going to take one here and kind of run it thinly over the edge. I might take one here and run it over the edge. So as it goes over the edge, it gets thinner.
Like this little line like this. Make it look cool.
So I'm going to do a few in the distance as well. So if you kind of watch what I'm doing here, I'm taking a thin line and then I'm going to run it over the edge. So I'll do another one kind of quite thin. Anybody's done waterfalls with me before? And then I'm going to run it over. So this just gives us that kind of definition, a few shadows.
Yeah, that's what
So in the background here, I used the same color. I didn't add any white to it, but I used a very dry brush, so hardly any paint at all here, just separating the white a little bit. And while we have our blue out, we may as well put in the blue along the sky. Hopefully kind of give this a little rub and make sure it's dry, because we need this dry, otherwise it'll turn green. So I'm just going to get a little bit of my blue that I used for the water and add some white to it. And I'm just going to sweep it over the top. So
Okay,
blue with a little bit of white. It's important that the sky is dry at this point. And I'm just going to sweep a little bit over the top.
What? Sorry.
What?
White with a little bit of blue, or the other way around?
From where?
The sky, this part. I'm just going to touch this. Right.
I'm just putting it over the sky here. This is the very top part.
I'm going back crazy.
It's so much loose.
I know.
Black.
Okay, oh gosh.
Just on the top again?
Yeah.
And I'm actually using a little bit of water just to, where it joins the yellow, kind of blend it. So I'm just using a little bit of water here. No. If your sun is still a little bit on the damp side, hopefully it is. Hopefully I've timed it right, so it's had enough time to get a little bit tacky. We're gonna get our
oh God.
flat brush.
Probably see crazy Oreo.
Is there really check?
It looks good down there.
So kind of give me a thumbs up if you've done the sky, because I don't want to race ahead.
No, medium.
Medium, okay. No so I'm gonna pull some of the white that's in the sun out a little bit to create a few sun rays. So I'm gonna get a dry brush. And I'm just gonna I'm still a bit tacky. I'm just gonna pull.
Come on, Oreo. Come here.
Out a little bit. A few sun rays.
Yeah. Julie, can you mute everybody again? I can't hear you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, my mute all button's not working. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some of the white out from my sun, which hopefully is a bit tacky, with a dry brush. I'm taking a few kind of little sun rays out. You see how I'm kind of flicking it? Like, hopefully your sun is still a little bit wet. And we can just pull a few sun rays out. Which we've done before when we did a forest scene. We're on the home stretch, folks. Only a couple of more things we need to do. This is where the fun bit comes in. We're going to start adding some color. So while I have a little bit of white on my brush and I'm doing my sun rays, I'm going to put a few kind of subtle white streaks into my sky. So again, dry brush, tiny bit of white, not very much. Just add in a few kind of streaks into my sky. Okay. With a brush of your choosing, whichever size you want to go with, we're going to start add some color in. This is where you can be creative and add as many colors as you want. Whatever you have some fun with it. I'm going to start with some bright red. I'm going to go with those eyebrow shapes. Just remember that the shapes are bigger and wider in the foreground, and they get thinner and more subtle as they get further away. So I'm going to add some pure reds. Try not to make them all the same size. I'm going to try and get some movement going on here. So I'm putting in some red. Again, as they get further away, they're going to be more subtle, kind of thinner. And just be playful with it. So try your primaries first, and then you could start combining some of those primaries. So try putting some greens in there, some yellow and blues, try putting some oranges in there. So let's have a little bit of playtime where we just put in whatever colors we feel like. You don't have to follow mine, just be playful. Use some of those white lines in the foreground to put a few yellows on top. They don't all have to be pure white. Have some playtime. Don't know where I'd be without these nutcrackers. They're getting lids off things. So have some fun with this part. You can go over some of the whites with yellow or leave some of them pure white. How's everybody doing? Doing okay? Yeah. You're having some fun with color? Hopefully. So after you've added your color. Again, no rush. I'm just explaining what I'm doing. I'm just adding some white highlights on this distant waterfall. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of extra white in just to emphasize the lights and darks. Okay, so with regards to what else you need to do, that's about it. So I'm happy to be open for questions, or if anybody's got anything they need to ask me or check with me, or I'm here for you.
Julie,
Hi.
I think I'm missing something on the top here.
Okay, show me. Okay, whereabouts is it worrying you? You want to point to it? I think your internet is freezing. Oh, about the... Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just put in some more of your medium blue, you know, the cobalt blue, the little bit of white. I think that'll fix it.
Like white and blue together?
Yeah, white and blue together, yeah. Can't wait to see everybody's pictures.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, do you want to show me?
I don't have my birds in it though.
You don't have your birds in it. Well, you know what? I might put birds in mine just to make you feel better. Oh, wow, Alice. Wow, you got some purples in there.
Actually, I don't, but I think it was just the blue going over top of the red.
It looks great. There you go. I'll put some birds in mine just to make you feel better. They're very, very tiny. Well, with everybody's permission, when you are finished, I'd love to take a group picture.
Not quite yet.
No,
I gotta
that's
get the
fine.
birds in.
Go put the birds in. That's your signature.
So that's about it to wrap up. I hope you really enjoyed our How to Paint Niagara Falls lesson. And please, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and check out all of our other videos. They are color-coded thumbnails. So purple videos are drawing videos, and the green ones are painting tutorials. And if you're interested in live lessons, please go to artfullyu.ca. We would love for you to join our live classes. Take care, everyone. Until next time.